Hi, I'm Quinn and I'm autistic. Welcome to Autistomatic. I want to talk about a few of my favourite TV shows today. But not just any old shows though. These are TV shows which in one way or another are relevant to me specifically as an autistic viewer. I'm a child of the 70s and 80s, and television played a huge part in my young life. We had a black and white TV until I was 5, and I didn't get access to a VCR until I was 19, moved out and bought it myself. But I still spent a huge proportion of my childhood sat in front of the TV absorbing everything like a sponge. I was a voracious reader too, consuming books at a rate my library card could barely keep up with. But when I had the chance to have the living room to myself, I couldn't get enough of the Gogglebox. When we got a colour TV, it didn't have a remote, so I'd sit a few feet in front of the set and channel surf for hours, doing my best to follow all 3 channels at once. In the modern day, the entertainment climate is very different. There's HD screens in every room of the house, and even in my pocket, with a seemingly endless array of on-demand options to choose from. The rapid success of the streaming market and the competition it's generated has unleashed an explosion of high-quality content from the finest talent, and we, as the lucky consumers, find ourselves spoilt for choice. So, I thought I'd tell you about 3 of my favourite TV shows that have all resonated with me as an autistic person. All of these, in some way, are representative of aspects of life or society that are particularly relevant to me as an autist, and maybe they will be to you too. Bron Broen, or The Bridge, ran for 4 brilliant seasons between 2011 and 2018. There was an American remake in 2013, but I'm talking specifically about the Scandinavian original. It's in its native languages, so if, like myself, you don't speak any Scandi languages, you'll need to turn on the captions. But since the synesthetic autist in me always uses captions anyway, it's not a barrier for me. The first season opens as 2 detectives, Sega Norén from Sweden and Danish Martin Roda, are called in to investigate a gruesome and bizarre murder scene on the Öresund Bridge between the 2 countries. It's a darkly compelling tale in its own right, and would be amongst my favourite crime mysteries already for its twisted, layered story. But what makes The Bridge stand out is the character of Sega Norén. Whilst it's never openly stated that Sega is autistic, it's very clear to any autist who watches that she's one of us. Her investigation methods are often unconventional as she picks up on inconsistencies and connections others fail to notice. She envelops herself in the cases she investigates, taking reams of work home with her to pore over until dawn, or follows up on leads on her own, sometimes at considerable personal risk. She's bluntly outspoken with her superiors and colleagues, and not interested in popularity, status, or socialising outside work. Her home is sparsely furnished, a place to eat and sleep rather than a haven, because her happy place is her work. For all the character examination I could do though, what makes Sega so compelling is the stunning performance of the actress Sophia Helin. Whether talking to a colleague or interviewing a suspect or a witness, she communicates in a way that just feels authentically autistic. There's the aforementioned bluntness, of course, but there's also the way she directs her gaze, the sharp focus of her questioning, and the lack of pleasantries or small talk. She's straight to the point and very certain about what she wants to know. We also see Sega wrestling with her troubled past. She's estranged from her family, and we learn early on that there's a tragedy in her past which she feels responsible for. Now, whilst I'd always prefer to see autistic characters played by autistic people, I have to give Sophia Helin credit for not only portraying a believable character, but in demonstrating how aspects of her personality that may not be conducive to social or career success are actually key to Sega's abilities as an investigator. Miss Helene was very keen to be accurate and respectful, and spent significant time alongside autistic people to hone her performance, and it shows. I've rarely felt more kinship with a television character. There's some big changes in the supporting cast as the show progresses, yet each of those new characters is a new pair of eyes through which to explore the central character. When The Bridge started, its main distinction was the unusual nature of the case and the cooperation of detectives from two different countries. But by the end of that first season, it was very clear that Sega was the real draw of the show. As we follow her journey through different cases, career challenges and relationships, Sega grows in a manner we can all take heart from. Rarely does she deny her nature or sidestep her needs, yet she finds a way to be understood and respected more for who she is than who she isn't, something every autist strives for. My second choice is a comedy, and it's a huge favourite in this house. Parks and Recreation ran from 2009 to 2015, and it's a tremendous observation of autistic character traits without even knowing it. It's the story of an over-enthusiastic council official and her quest to turn a disused construction site into a town park. But it's the diverse bunch of supporting characters that make the show a joy to watch. Each one of them encapsulates a distinct trait that many autists will relate to. Amy Poehler's central character of Leslie Knope is intensely focused on her job. She not only works in local government, she believes in local government with an intensity few neurotypical people would relate to. When it comes to her work, she can only give 110%, no less, a quality which many around her find intimidating. Her dedication even scares away potential suitors, and Leslie's quest to be appreciated both professionally and personally is a key theme throughout. Then we have Ron Swanson, Leslie's principled yet ineffective manager, who sees himself as a committed patriot and outdoorsman. Ron brings his scepticism of local government into his work, the very antithesis of Leslie's enthusiasm. However, behind the brash, masculinity-obsessed exterior lies a complicated tangle of insecurity who's easily led by promises of love and holds some deeply rooted feelings about food. Ron's limited diet is a superb examination of autistic food habit and desire for stability, managing to get sane foods into the mix without having to mention that they're sane foods at all. There's Aubrey Plaza's darkly pessimistic loner, April, who manages to become a valuable staff member despite trying her hardest not to. The infectious, childlike enthusiasm of Andy Dwyer, the nerdy yet highly efficient Ben, lifelong wallflower and unsung glue that holds the office together, Jerry Gergich, or was it Terry or Perry or something like that, anyway. Parks and Recreation follows the traditional format of self-contained episodes we know so well from written by committee American comedies. But there's a surprising amount of character progression over the full run of 7 seasons. There was very clearly a shift of direction between the initial 6-episode run and the full series because there were some big changes to the characters and show structure. So if you haven't watched it yet, you might want to start from season 2. But if you like it, I guarantee you'll come back to watch season 1 later. What makes Parks and Rec so enjoyable on an autistic level is not because it has any obviously autistic coded characters, but each of its cast embodies at least one common aspect of autistic personalities and lives in the person of a warm, likeable character. All of them have their flaws, but we as an audience root for them because we recognise all of them as good people, and it shows how valuable diversity of thought and feeling truly is. Finally, I'd like to take a look at Severance, the only show in this short list which is still ongoing. Season 1 of Severance premiered on Apple TV early in 2022, with the concluding series set for next year, 2023. It features Adam Scott, who played Ben in Parks and Rec, in a decidedly dramatic role as Mark, a menial worker in a very near future office that seems both strange yet strikingly familiar at the same time. Mark, like all of his colleagues, has undergone severance as a condition of his employment, a procedure that splits a person's personality and memories in two. When he arrives at work, a signal triggers a surgically implanted device which switches off their external identity, so they're quite literally a different person at work. They have no memory of their external life whilst in the office, and no memory of the office when they're outside. It's the ultimate separation of professional and personal life. The innie consciousness is only ever aware when they are at work, waking when they enter and shutting down when they clock off, whilst their outie personality never works at all, because their innie, who is effectively a stranger to them, does all the work for them. On the surface, it's a powerful allegory for many of the pressures of work in the modern world. Severed employees can't divulge company secrets outside work because they have no memory of what they do day in, day out. So no need for NDAs or HR snoops scanning their social media. The tasks we see our heroes perform every day seem opaque and pointless, yet they're still dogged by performance quotas and endless company indoctrination. The company rewards offered for good work are sly parodies of the real-life incentives offered by companies to get that little bit extra out of their employees. It's a tremendous piece of dramatic satire, yet it speaks very specifically to aspects of autistic life too. The double lives of the staff at Lumen are especially relatable to people who've been forced to hide their true natures in order to survive, and autistic people certainly fall into that category. Most of us have to mask to some degree to get by in the workplace, and often it can feel like we're living separate lives as a result. Do it for long enough, and it can be hard to recognise where the mask stops and the real us begins. Working at Lumen also echoes concerns about worker exploitation, which is a very real risk to autists in the current climate, as more and more companies try to paint over ruthless employment practices with a coat of neurodiversity paint. Whilst at work, Lumen employees have no memory of their outside lives, and so they build up elaborate fantasies of who they might really be, in much the same way as many autists fantasise who we could be if only we weren't forced to wear the falsehood we call masking just to keep a job. Whilst our heroes speculate as to who they really are on the outside, the complicated web of deceit, civil unrest and corporate ties to government are slowly revealed, mirroring the very same fears we experience trying to make a living in this world. The design work and the location used for the offices in the old Bell Labs buildings in New Jersey create an oppressive, retro-futuristic aesthetic, combined with masterful lighting and stylish direction. There's amazing performances from Adam Scott, Christopher Walken, Patricia Arquette and John Turturro, and I only pick them out because they're well-known names. There's not a single bad actor in this show, and I must give special credit to Britt Lower, whose portrayal of Helly is simply stunning. Whilst it's technically science fiction, Severance wears its sci-fi credentials underneath a heavy overcoat of tense contemporary drama and sharply observed satire, with an edge that will appeal to any autist who's run the gauntlet of work or education. And I can't wait to see how it ends. So there you have it. 3 of my favourite shows that resonated with the autist in me. These aren't intended to be full-on reviews, more of a taster to encourage you to look further. But I'd be very interested to hear your thoughts on these or any other shows that resonate with you personally. All art is subjective. We don't all see the same details nor take the same message away with us, let alone all like the same things. But these 3 shows all mean something more to me than just entertainment. And I hope they'll be the same for you. Thank you for watching. At this point in the video, I'd normally be asking everyone to like, share and subscribe, and pointing out the Autistomatic Patreon and merch stores which help support the channel. Today, instead, I want to thank everyone who already is a patron and all the new subscribers who've joined the ride whilst I've been away. 2022, especially the second half, was very difficult for me. I will be talking about what's been going on and how I've dealt with it at a later date, but I wanted my first video back to be something positive and cheerful. There are some subjects I might normally cover that will have to wait for a while because I've still a lot going on that won't be resolved for some time, and part of my personal survival toolkit requires that I keep my distance where necessary. That's included stepping back from most of social media too. I hope 2023 will be a better year for all of us, and I'm looking forward to getting my own life back in order and making more content on Autistic Life for you to all enjoy. Thanks for all your support, your comments, and above all, for just being you.